Hey there, you beautiful nostalgic nerds! Remember childhood? Back when life was all about sugary cereal, Saturday morning cartoons, and the sheer, unadulterated joy of getting a brand new toy? Yeah, those were the days. Today, we're strapping on our time-traveling fanny packs and rocketing back to the golden age of toys. We're talking about those plastic, electronic, and sometimes furry little wonders that ruled our worlds. Get ready for a serious dose of nostalgia, because we're about to dive deep into the toys that defined a generation. You might want to grab a tissue, for the tears of joy, and maybe the slight pang of longing for simpler times. Buckle up, because this is going to hit you right in the nostalgia. Alright, gather round, my fellow children of the 80s. Before Siri and Alexa were even a twinkle in Steve Jobs' eye, we had the Speak and Spell. This thing was basically magic back in 1978. Seriously, Texas Instruments, you guys were geniuses. This wasn't just some toy, it was like holding the future in your hands. You'd punch in letters on that chunky keyboard, and wait for it. It would actually talk back to you in this weird robotic voice that, let's be honest, was both creepy and cool. And we all tried to make it say the dirtiest words we could think of. Admit it, you tried to make it curse. Don't worry, I'm not judging. It was practically a rite of passage. But hey, it actually worked. The Speak and Spell made learning fun, even if it sounded like a robot with a speech impediment was teaching you how to spell banana. It was edutainment before edutainment was even a thing. Man, we were easily impressed back then. Simpler times, when the most advanced thing you owned was a plastic rectangle that could barely pronounce xylophone. Okay, let's talk about the Queen, the legend, the one and only Barbie. Barbie wasn't just a doll. She was a lifestyle, a fashion icon, and a role model, sometimes questionable, but we'll let that slide. From Malibu, Barbie soaking up the sun, to rockstar Barbie shredding on her guitar, Barbie proved she could do it all. And let's not forget about Dr. Barbie, astronaut Barbie, and even presidential candidate Barbie. She was breaking glass ceilings before we even knew what glass ceilings were. But let's be real for a second. The ultimate Barbie? Totally hair Barbie. That hair, it was longer than Rapunzel's after a lifetime supply of hair vitamins. And you know what every kid with a pair of safety scissors did? Yeah, they went to town on that mane. And then came the tears. The realization that maybe, just maybe, those scissors weren't meant for amateur haircuts. Ah, childhood. Full of poor decisions and even worse hairstyles. Also, plastic hair doesn't grow back. Alright, time to unleash your inner child, people. Close your eyes and repeat after me. Thunder, thunder, Thundercats, hoo! If those words don't send a shiver down your spine, you clearly didn't experience the epicness that was Thundercats in the 80s. Lion-O, Cheetara, Panthro, Snarf, these names were basically engraved on our brains, right next to the lyrics of the Ghostbusters theme song and the recipe for slime. And the toys, oh man, the toys. We're talking about action figure perfection, each one sculpted with such detail you could practically hear Lion-O roar, "Give me sight beyond sight." And speaking of the Sword of Omens, if you were lucky enough to own that bad boy, you spent hours holding it up, hoping, praying that it would actually give you the power to see through walls or into the future. Spoiler alert, it didn't. But hey, a kid can dream, right? Thundercats was more than just a cartoon, it was a way of life, and also giant cats with swords. And now for Furby. Are they cute or creepy? The world may never know. 1998. Titanic was sweeping the Oscars, Google was just a baby, and the world was introduced to the Furby. This little owl gremlin hamster thing took the world by storm. Seriously, they were everywhere. Kids wanted them, parents were driven mad trying to find them, and everyone was trying to figure out what the heck they were saying. Doo-dah! Doo-dah! Remember that? It was like they were speaking in some ancient alien language that only toddlers and dogs could understand. And they never seemed to shut up. You'd think you finally got your Furby to go to sleep, and then, BAM! 3 a.m. It would wake up screaming, "Me hungry," traumatizing, maybe a little, but hey, they were kinda cute, right? In a weird, possessed Chia Pet kind of way, Furby taught us valuable life lessons. Presenting the Beanie Babies, the plush toys that promised us riches. Let's talk about the great Beanie Baby craze of the 90s, shall we? These weren't just stuffed animals, they were investments. Or so our parents told us. Remember those long lines outside Hallmark stores? People were fighting over Princess the Bear and Spot the Dog, like they were winning lottery tickets. We were hoarding them in mint condition, convinced that one day we'd be rolling in Beanie Baby billions. Fast forward to today, and, well, let's just say most of us still have a bin full of Beanie Babies in the attic. Turns out those rare princesses weren't so rare after all. But hey, they were adorable. And let's be honest, for a while there, it was kind of fun to be part of the craze. And now for our friend, Alfie, the robot teacher who beeped his way into our hearts. Before we had AI personal assistants, we had Alfie. This little educational robot was like having your own personal tutor, except way more fun and with a lot more beeping. Remember those interchangeable learning cards? You'd pop one in, and Alfie would quiz you on everything from math to spelling to random trivia. And if you got the answer right, he'd light up and make the most satisfying boop beep boop sound. Alfie made learning fun. Sure, he couldn't write your book report or help you cheat on your history test, but he was always there to quiz you on state capitals or the multiplication tables. He was like a less demanding Tamagotchi that actually taught you something. Let's hear it for the analog artists. Before we had iPads and Photoshop, we had Light Bright. This magical light box let us create glowing masterpieces, one tiny, colorful peg at a time. Remember the struggle of trying to place those pegs in the dark? You'd finally get your design just right, and then, bam, you'd bump the board and all your hard work would go scattering across the floor. But when you finally finished a Light Bright creation, pure magic. It was like staring into a stained glass window made of pure childhood joy. Light Bright taught us patience, perseverance, and the importance of a steady hand, especially in the dark. Remember the good old days of VHS tapes? Yeah, those clunky plastic rectangles that held entire movies? Before Netflix and Hulu, this was how we consumed our entertainment. Remember the struggle of rewinding a tape before you could return it to Blockbuster? The sheer panic when you realized you forgot to rewind and had to do it at the drop-off kiosk while everyone judged you. And let's not forget about the dreaded tape jam. Nothing killed a movie night faster than that heart-stopping moment when the VCR started making weird noises, and you knew your favorite tape was about to become a tangled mess. But even with all their quirks, there was something special about VHS tapes. Maybe it was the ritual of going to the video store and browsing the aisles. Maybe it was the feeling of nostalgia when you popped in an old favorite. Or maybe it was just the fact that you couldn't fast forward through the commercials. Whatever it was, VHS tapes hold a special place in our hearts. A long time ago, in a galaxy not so far away, you see, Star Wars toys ruled the universe. Seriously, if you grew up in the 70s, 80s, or 90s, chances are you had at least one Star Wars action figure, spaceship, or lightsaber. Remember those Kenner action figures with the weird, unmovable limbs? Yeah, they weren't exactly the most posable toys, but we didn't care. We were too busy recreating epic lightsaber battles between Luke and Vader, sending Han and Chewie on smuggling runs in the Millennium Falcon, and making Chewbacca noises that would make Peter Mayhew proud. And the lightsabers. Every kid wanted a lightsaber. It didn't matter if it was the cheap, retractable kind or the deluxe version with sound effects. We all wanted to wield the power of the Force. Star Wars toys weren't just toys, they were portals to a galaxy far, far away. Man, thinking about all those awesome toys really takes you back, doesn't it? They weren't just plastic and plush, they were time machines. They sparked our imaginations, fueled our creativity, and left us with memories that still make us smile. What was your favorite childhood toy? Was it a speak and spell that taught you how to spell awesomeness? A Barbie dream house you spent hours decorating? Or maybe it was a simple cardboard box that you transformed into a spaceship, a castle, or anything your imagination could conjure up. Let me know in the comments below. And hey, while you're there, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more epic blasts from the past. And hey, if you're feeling super nostalgic and want to relive those childhood memories, why not take a trip down memory lane and visit us at Atthegoodz? We've got all your favorite vintage toys, collectibles, and unique finds just waiting to be rediscovered. It's like a time capsule of awesome, and trust me, you're gonna love it. Plus, every purchase comes with a free gift. Because we don't just sell memories, we love sharing them.